Okay, this is going to be a quick comparison between the Mangird Tea and the ISN H40. So first thing I'm going to say is, let's take this off of here. If you look at these, I'll pull them up here where you guys can see them. These are almost exactly the same. I mean, there's very slight differences in these cases. And I know a lot of these look the same nowadays. And I mean, they're not exactly the same. So they're definitely different molds, but they're very close. The Mangird Tea, the cable is really phenomenal. I love this cable on the Mangird Tea. I wish actually I like the cable that comes with the H40. I like it a lot. I like the Mangird Tea cable better. I wish I could swap these two, but this is MMCX and this is 2-pin. So when I sell the Mangirds, which I'm going to sell, I'm going to have to give up this cable, which I really love this cable. Because when I sell it, I want to sell it, you know, as it was sold to me, so that someone else buys it gets the same experience I got, right? I think that's kind of fair. I think if I was buying a used IEM or secondhand and I was expecting it to have all the cool gear that it came with, I would be really disappointed. So I'm going to sell it with this cable, even though I really like it. And I don't know, maybe I can find out where this cable came from and buy it. But anyway, let's get back to the comparison. So on a whole host of songs, I listened for hours and hours to both the Mangird Tea and this, because I really like both. This Mangird Tea is a phenomenal headphone. I mean, it stands out above most of my gear, and I really enjoyed it. And when I got the ISN, I got this really because someone on my channel recommended. They said, hey, have you checked out the H40 by ISN? And I think someone else commented that they'd like to see a comparison of the Mangird Tea in this one. And it's a really good comparison, not price-wise, because these are $100 more than these, but sound quality-wise, these things are like kin from the same family. I mean, these things are so close in sound quality. But the ISNs, the H40s, they in the end they won out. They had something that the Mangird Tea just doesn't have. So treble is very good and the detail is very good. I can hear the same detail between both of these. So the treble, though, I do like the tuning of it slightly better on the H40. The mids I give to the H40 just slightly, but I do like the mids better. And the mids, of course, are a combination of everything, of treble and bass, and because we're talking about male voices and female voices and wind instruments and guitars and many other things that are in that mid frequency range. So the tuning in the mids on this was better. Not a lot better, but better. The bass is where these shine a little bit more, I think. The bass is excellent on the Mangird Tea. But what I felt like was when I heard the Mangird Tea against my other IEMs, my other, collection of music and IEMs, the bass sounded better than those. But against these the H40s, the bass on these is just as good in the sense that it's deep and it's you can feel it and it's very present. And it doesn't bleed off at all, right? And this didn't really bleed too much either, but I felt like this bass had the same depth but was tighter and more accurate. So and I said in the video on these that I was listening to a song by Cecilia Strange, which is really what kind of like made me make my final decision about what was better. And in that song, she's playing saxophone, and there's a section in the song, I think it's called Bridge, and she goes off onto a solo on her saxophone, and she blows this very low note that's very powerful. It's the kind of note that would vibrate your breastbone if you were right there, and it's like you can hear the wood, or not the wood, but you can hear this throaty sound. Like, you ever taken a big bottle and blown into it? You know how it makes that sound, and you can get it to a point where it's like this very low rumbly sound. Well, that's what the saxophone made, and you could feel it. On these, when I heard it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I went back and I listened again and again because I could feel that. I mean, the timbre was so astounding on that point in the song that, I mean, it was so realistic. And so I plugged in the Mangird Teas and I did it back and forth, and the Mangird Teas just didn't sound like that. I could hear that instrument, I could hear that sound in it, and if I had never heard these, I would say, oh, Mangird Teas are great, they play that great. But hearing these were so much better on that section of the song than the Mangird Tea. So then I got to wondering what else, you know, and so I started going through my whole library and finding points in different songs. And I'm not going to list them all out to you right now because, I mean, it would be a stupid long video. But I can tell you point after point after point in different songs, the H40s sounded better than the Mangird Teas. In some cases, just barely. In some cases, it was similar. And in other cases, it was very noticeable difference that these were better. Noticeably better is what I would say. So in the end, I decided I'm going to sell the Mangird Teas. And you know, they're beautiful little IEMs, and they got this fantastic cable, and I guess the case is okay. It's this kind of aluminum case. This kind of thing doesn't fit in your pocket real well, at least for me. I don't have, you know, yeah, it doesn't fit in your pocket real well. So, but it is very protective. But it, you know, so some people might really like that case. The case with the H40 slips into my pocket and is actually really comfortable to carry around. So I kind of like this case better. But you know, cases beside, right? Case doesn't matter. You can buy a case on AliExpress or any place you want. So, anyway, I just wanted you guys to know that my opinion between these two is that the H40 wins out over the Mangird Tea, but not by a huge amount, right? Not by, you know, some massive amount. And in fact, you know, I got another IEM that came in, which was the blonde, the BL05. And I've also got the, you know, the BQEYZ. I hate saying that. I mean, what is wrong with companies that pick names like this? I have no idea what that name even means. I don't know if it's an abbreviation for some big long name. I don't know if it's whoever started the company's the first letter of each one of their kids' names or something. I don't know. But, I mean, listen, if BQEYZ, if you see this video, please think about changing your name because it's so freaking hard to pronounce and to remember. Anyway, sorry, that's off on a tangent. I mean, if I was placing these, let me do this. So if I was saying, you know, order-wise, what's the best and what's the worst, so to speak, right? Or, I mean, there is no worst here. Let's make that point clear. These are fantastic, all of them. You get the Mangird Teas, you're probably going to be completely happy. These are an excellent IEM. Sorry, I'm going the wrong way. These are an excellent IEM. I just happened to find out that when I got these H40s through a recommendation from somebody that they were better than the Mangird Tea. Now, how much better? Let's say that this is position 1, and here's what we're going to do. I gotta find a way to keep these from moving. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Let's put these over here, actually. Yeah, that's better. So let's just say these are, let's just say this over here is position 1, and then, you know, 2 and 3, obviously, right? So what's in number 1 position on treble? The BQEYZ. Definitely. As far as these two go, they are neck and neck on treble. They are like so close together. But the treble and the BQEYZ is just way out here. I mean, it's just really superior. Mids, I'm gonna say mids are like this. I'm gonna say the mids are very close between the Mangird Tea and the H40, and that they are both not considerably, but better, noticeably better than the BQEYZ. Bass, I'm going to say the BQEYZ disappears out of the picture. It doesn't really have, it has bass, but it's very light. And I'm going to say that, again, the bass is very close on these. Tuning, you know, imaging and stage, I'm going to say the H40s pull away from the Mangird Tea. The stage and the imaging is better. Overall tuning, I'm going to say, is also better, but not by, you know, a huge margin. And so if I was recommending, if someone said, what should I get, the Mangird Tea or the H40? If I know that if they're asking that question, probably they want something with bass. They've already heard that the Mangird Tea has bass. They probably want something with good mids, and they've heard the Mangird has that, and detailed highs, and you know that also it has. So I already know kind of the signature they're looking for if they're comparing these two. I would say always go for the ISN. I think overall it sounds better, not by a huge margin. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, open your eyes, so much better, but definitely better. But this one is $195, comes with great accessories, and this one is $300, and it comes with good accessories too. I mean, the cables are fantastic on both of these. I love the cables on both of them. I like the cable better on the Mangird Tea. But I expect if I pay $300, I'm going to get a good cable. I mean, I would expect that. Not always the case. And I'm going to tell you, I listened to these against the Blon 05, and just as a spoiler, is not really a comparison. The Blon 05 is missing bass, and the BL03 sounds better, but it has really good clear highs. So anyway, yeah, I don't know why I told you that. So Mangird Tea and HSN, ISN H40. God, I keep mixing that. All these numbers are going wacko in my head. This is definitely the better buy. Sounds better, lower price, makes sense. Okay, well, I hope that helped you out.